What's up guys, Shockwave640 here, and today we're taking a look at the Transformers Titans Return Scourge, because he is the one who won the voting yesterday. Tomorrow will be Hardhead, and then we will move on doing other things. So, here is Scourge in his space boat mode, or as I like to call it, the blue slipper, or the bar of soap, because that's kind of what it looks like, or the G1 toy did at least. So angling this down, let's do the size comparisons real quick. See, here we have it with the AC guy, who I figured I would do a size comparison of, as we haven't seen him in quite a while. They're actually roughly just about the exact same size. I'm looking here. They're pretty much the exact same size, because to the shoulders here, not really. To here, yes, this matches up with the AC guy's peak of his head almost exactly. Also, sorry if you hear meowing or like squeaking off at the side. That is because my cat had her kittens yesterday morning, so they're inside of my room with me while I'm recording because I don't want any of my dogs to hurt them. So they are in here. So sorry, excuse that if you hear it. My editor, I can't really get him to work on anything yet because he doesn't have any Wi-Fi at his house yet, but he will soon. Sooner or later, he will. So, yeah. Here he is with Cosmos, because I figured I'd do him too, because you haven't seen him in a while either. So, setting him off to the side. Here is Blur. Right there. And bringing in Skull Smasher. There we go. So, that is that. So, setting off these guys. Setting off these guys real quick, I guess we can get to looking at the details. I'm trying to get Skull Smasher to stand. Hang on a second. Okay, sorry about that. My cat is starting to squish her kittens, and they were meowing about it, so sorry about that. Okay, I had to fix that. Okay, so looking at the details, here we have a very nice Decepticon symbol, very reminiscent of the G1 toy, except I think it should have been here instead of that high up, but oh well. Same thing with this blue, it is very reminiscent of the G1 toy, except the G1 toy had it just going straight up like that, but I do like how they put it in the same location. It does have the little posts there for your Titan Masters, but they do not work, they suck. You do have a little bit of red paint there, and inside of these little turbine thrusters. Really nothing going on here. You can pretty much see how he's going to work for transformation. He's got some nice silver there. It's nice dark blue. That's plastic right there, and I believe that's... yeah, that's painted on there. That's blue and silver paint right there. And then you have the translucent cockpit right there, and you can see the port for his weapon. You can take this off, and if you really want to, you can take Scourge's gun. And you could do that if you really wanted to, or you could plug this in right there, and then you can plug in this right here. You have a big triple-barreled cannon there. But to have the official look for the space boat mode, you just want to have it like this. Oh yeah, there's another thing I want to talk about, and this is concerning FRACAS, which is the Titan Master. So FRACAS, here he is. He is very hard to get out. It usually ends up pulling off his legs. Okay, nope, it didn't that time. So taking a look at little FRACAS here. He has a very nice metallic blue paint. I do like the silver and the red on his face. Let's see if I can get that to focus. You can kind of see. He looks a little bit sad to me for some odd reason. And he's got the nice sky blue right there. And of course, just has a face on his back. So we will set him off to the side. Bringing this back in so you can see the details inside the cockpit. Of course, like I said, the clear blue plastic so you can see on the inside. You can take the gun here, and you can have FRACAS sitting inside of it, just using the tab on the back of his legs to fit right into that slot. Really helps if you put his arms forward, like so. And then you can take this section off, plug that in there, and then you can have another little gun emplacement to place on any of your City Formers or Titan class, or to make any other Transformer with a 5mm peg in their hand hold it. This guy does have the exact same articulation as the other two Titan Masters with the hinge there, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. So, Setting that to the side, setting this off to the side because we do not need them right now. Actually, another thing I wanted to talk about that was actually very funny is the shape of this screw hole. It is an odd shape. As you can see, there's two small notches cut out at the side. The reason why, and this is not shown in the instructions, but you can transform FRACAS into his head mode, and if you want to, you can extend the cannon up there. You can actually fit the Titan Master head in here, and it will lock into place, and you can do this. Now, I know this looks incredibly stupid. Nothing about this looks cool in any way, but this is an homage to the cartoon, and I believe also the G1 toy, because this section right here is supposed to be SCOURGE's face. As you can see, they are somewhat similarly shaped. Repro Labels did make a sticker set so that this can look like SCOURGE's face with the gray mustache, which, just taking a quick look at his head sculpt there. There you can see his mustache, his beard, red eyes, silver face. Everything else is not really painted, but it does look cool. So you can see where his face would go right there, like the goatee in that little section, mustache right above that, and then the eyebrows. It didn't actually have any eyes, which I think is kind of funny, so it's just eyebrows. It was basically just facial hair. So there is that. Now we will get down to transforming this guy. So setting off FRACAS. Now let's transform SCOURGE. So what you want to do to start the transformation is you want to untab this section. It will tab in with that slot, or that tab and going into that slot, this tab going into that slot, and then just angle these up, getting them out of the way, like so. Also, when you're transforming him, make sure that FRACAS is not in this cockpit because it gets things very difficult if he is. So, just a warning. Now they want to untab his arms. They just use that tab and go into that slot there. It doesn't really work all that well. It's just basically telling you where you can put it. So, oh well. Just untab the arms. Come back here. You want to untab this section, and you can see here. Let me separate the legs. You can see there's these two. I'm trying to get the leg out of the way. They're on a ratchet joint. There's these two tabs right there that will use the these two slots right there that will use the tabs right there, and then that will lock that into place, and then these would just tab together into that section there. So you just want to bring his legs down like so. You want to rotate him. You want to rotate his waist. Just kind of split the legs so that you can get in there. Push his spine up into his body until it clips into place. Rotate the legs so that they're facing this way with the hollow part forward. And then you just use this double ratchet hinge, and then this will tab into that slot there using this tab, like so. Do the same on this side. Then you want to fold back the heel and flip out the foot. Hang on, hang on. I got to deal with the cats again. Sorry about that. Okay. Cats were fighting. Okay. So you just want to get him looking like this. Get him standing like so. Fold down his arms. Flip out the fists. And if you want, you can lower these shoulders, which is what I usually do because SCOURGE isn't supposed to be a big buff character. Then you just want to kind of angle out these wings and do whatever you want with those. Take your little Titan Master and plug him into these clips up here, like so. And here we have SCOURGE in his robot mode. And I really do like his robot mode. Now, he does have the little bobblehead thing that every single SCOURGE has. Oh, also, you want to flip that up if you haven't. He does have the bobblehead. The reason why is because this clip has too much wiggle space. If you cut out some tiny pieces of straw, or anything really, and slip it into these cracks between the chest and the clip itself, and put one right in the front, it will help to lock this head in place. Because how these work is, you can see on the sides of the head there's these two small indentions. These are supposed to use these tiny little bumps to clip into, so that will lock the head into place. But since he doesn't have a high enough collar, it's not actually locking it, so it can just freely lean back and forth all it wants to, considering there is no collar that he has because of the way that his body is shaped. while Skull Smasher and Blur had collars, so their heads lock in perfectly. Same with Hardhead. So that's the only reason why he is like this. You can easily fix it just by getting some blue or silver straw or some tiny pieces of plastic, or you could probably even use cardstock if you really wanted to, and just color it blue. And you just slide it into those spots, and then that should fix up the problem perfectly. I haven't done it yet because it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it only works like if he's wiggled a little bit. He could still turn his head perfectly fine. It's just his head is a little bit wobbly, more wobbly in certain places than others, but oh well, I'll get over it. It's not going to kill me, but so yeah, let's take a look at the details, then we will do size comparisons. Of course, there is this head sculpt. This right here with the cannon and this shape right here is his head. These arms here on the back are not actual parts of his head. They are just the Titan Master's arms hanging there. What they did in the Takara version is they painted those a light blue so that you can actually make out the shape of Scourge's head. I do think that this head shape actually looks better. He would look kind of weird if he just had that skinny looking head. So I do like this head shape a lot better. The only thing I don't like about it is how it makes that little cannon look. This cannon looks very, very pathetic. So I don't know what to do about that. Okay, sorry about that. Cats are fighting again. He has a Tampercraft Decepticon logo, Tampercraft G1 detail, this weird greenish color for his crotch, and then Tampercraft detail also from the G1 toy. Everything else is just this metallic, pearlescent, blue plastic. Then you got this like sky blue plastic, and that's pretty much it. People are complaining that he looks very bland as a robot mode, much like Blur, but that's because for this guy, most of the paint money was put into the space boat mode rather than robot mode. I still really do like this robot mode. I think that he looks cool. Very much like the G1 toy. I mean, the G1 toy was pretty much just a solid blue with this lighter blue plastic too. So when people didn't complain about how that one lacked paint just because it's old, well, I think that this guy's perfectly fine just how he is. This looks like Scourge. Sure, he doesn't have his signature pink fingernails, but you could easily do that with a Sharpie or with actual paint. That's not going to be hard to do. And any details that he's missing, and if the legs bother you, there's a little bit of a fan mode that you can do. So you just kind of want to get his arms out of the way, pull out the waist, rotate it, and then push it back in. And then what you can do is have his legs look like that, and he will still stand perfectly fine. The only downside to this is that he will have these little pinholes, but I believe you could fix those just by rotating the legs like that, pulling it back out, extending it, doing that. So basically all you do is just rotate the legs. You don't really have to extend it and do all that stuff. Well, no, never mind, you do, because the legs don't want to get close together. So you do have to rotate the waist entirely, like so, if you want to have this detail on the front. So then he's got dark blue paint right there. He's got the dark blue paint. He's got the Decepticon symbol, or half of it right there. And he's got the light blue. And he does have bigger feet, kind of like he's wearing big boots. The only downside is he does lose knee articulations. I'm going to do articulation first, then size comparisons. So he does have the ball jointed head. These are on a double hinge right here and right here, so you can move those around. Ball joint, he's got a transformation hinge right here. He does have a swivel. He does have barely above 90-degree there. You can swivel his hands in and out. His legs will go that far forward, that far back, that far out on a ratchet. They will swivel, and then if you have the knees like this, they will only bend that much. But if you extend that, rotate it, and do that, the knees will bend this much. And then you can wiggle his feet and wiggle his heel spurs, which I do like because the heel spurs and the feet do move. Well, on that one leg they move joined together. On this one they don't, but I do really like that. I think that it's very cool how you can kind of fan mode him to give him a little bit more color detail in his robot mode. I usually display him with his legs like this because I do like this G1 detailing here, because I really do like G1 Scourge. I wish I had one. He's a very cool figure to me. I don't have one yet because I don't know how to find them. I've looked on eBay, but they're ridiculously expensive, so I don't really know. Hopefully I'll be able to get one sooner or later and show him to you guys, but if not, oh well. Now, size comparison. Bringing in Blur, so you can see how they scale. Deluxe versus Deluxe. Skull Smasher. So you can see the two Decepticons of this wave side by side. He does not want to stand. There we go. Bringing back Cosmos. Sorry, you saw my bracelet dangling around. But there is Cosmos. And then here is the Ack Guy. And now the Ack Guy is shorter than Scourge. Because the Ack Guy is it's a decent sized Gundam. It's really hefty too, but it was a shorter suit in the anime anyways, so oh well. And plus it's a deluxe versus a 1 to 1/44th scale model kit. So let's do the head swapping now. So bringing in Blur, taking off Hyperfire. Well, actually, yeah, we'll just have Blur to the side. Taking off Hyperfire, taking off Fracas, and bringing in Skull Smasher to take off Grax. So, come here, you. So, setting him off to the side. So let's do the Grax on Scourge's body first. You do the same way as usual. You just clip that into there. And there you have Scourge with Grax's head. And that does not want to stay. That's terrible. That's that bobblehead. In terms of the way the head looks on the body, it doesn't really work because Scourge has no gold or black on him whatsoever unless you count some of the tamper-craft detailing. So, no, that does not work. So setting off Scourge's body to the side, let's bring in Blur. And he fell over. Okay, so let's just plug in Fracas here. And no, that looks really weird and it's still really wobbly just because this head connection sucks. Nope, okay, never mind. It doesn't like to work with Blur for some reason. Only Blur's head likes to work with Blur. So that is a little bit of a bummer. So bringing in our big boy Skull Smasher here and giving him Fracas. Just plug that in like so. And no, that looks even weirder than it looked on Blur. So let's just remove that and pretend that we had never seen this. Throwing all these heads off to the side, setting off Skull Smasher. Let me put their heads back on real quick. Put Grax on Skull Smasher. I almost put Fracas on Blur. And then putting Hyperfire back on Blur. And then taking Fracas here and putting him back on Scourge. Like so. Helps if you actually aim properly. There we go. I think we got it in there. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes if you got it in there or not for this guy at least. Just because. Now, the accessory. He can either hold these as a pistol and a very G1 looking double-barreled rifle. Except with a big cavity in it. He does not like to hold this. Why are you not wanting to hold this? Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it! There we go. He did not want to hold that for some reason. So there he is holding his double-barreled rifle. Very cool. Or you can either have him with these two guns, or you can combine them to make a triple-barreled gun, like so. Or you can rotate this barrel around and kind of give it a targeting scope, which is usually how I display him. So this was the Transformers Titans Return Deluxe Class Scourge with his Titan Master Fracas. If you like this toy, tell me what you think about him in the description below. He's been getting a lot of hate from people. I show no hate towards him whatsoever. I think he's pretty darn near perfect. A lot better than that Generations piece of crap was. So yeah, here he is. I really like him a lot. He is a fairly cool figure. He does have his flaws, but so does every other person in this wave. Like, Skull Smasher, his legs were super loose. Blur, he has a hard time standing just because the way that his feet are, and he's just kind of hard to stand in general. And then this guy, he's got the bobblehead action and the lack of paint. But it's not like any toys have never suffered from problems like this before, so get over it. That's really all I've got to say. I know I didn't show off the pegs for the Titan Master on Spaceboat mode because they don't work. They simply do not work. It's like they're not even there. I mean, you can kind of force it to work, but it feels like it's gonna end up breaking something. So I just don't put them on there because they don't even hold on there at all. It's just they put the pegs too close up to this thing, so there's not enough clearance, and the peg's not long enough. So, oh well, what are you gonna do? But yeah, so tomorrow will be Hardhead, Transformers Titans Return Hardhead. He will be reviewed tomorrow, and then I have a special video for Saturday if I have the time. If I don't have the time, then it will have to be Monday. But if I do have the time, it'll either be Sunday or Monday. So be expecting a special review. It will be about these Titans Returns figures, and so yeah. Well, guys, I'll be seeing you later, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think down there about these figures so far, and what you expect from the future waves. And, well, guys, I am Shockwave640, and I'll be seeing you later, my little Logicons. Peace!